Valerie from VL Buyers Agent. I work exclusively for the buyer, and every week I share tips, advice, real stories, and lessons that I've learned that help international or overseas buyers make the right decisions to purchase a property in Catalonia with confidence and avoiding costly mistakes. So, in this episode, this is my second episode. The first one focused on introducing myself. So, this one, I'm going to explain some of the misconceptions buyers may have before you even start out. So, we'll start off with the first assumption is they think the process is the same as what it is in your home country. So, it isn't. It's not even the same in different parts of Spain. There's different clauses in certain contracts that we have in Catalonia, for instance. The ITP tax, or the name transfer tax as it's called, is different. So that's one of the assumptions at the moment. I have American buyers who are baffled. The first thing they didn't know is how estate agents work in this country. So in the US, you have a listing agent and a buyer's agent. The listing agent lists the property, puts it on the MLS, and then everybody has access to that property on the MLS. Or buyer's agents will come and sell it to somebody. And here, that's not how it works. Here, what happens is that estate agents all scramble to list the same property. That's why when you're looking at Idealista, Fotocasa, Habitaclia, any of these portals that we have where the properties are listed, you may see 4, 5, or even 6 different listings because estate agents have gone out to list these properties. Estate agents are under a lot of pressure to list as many properties as possible. So that's one of the core things they need to do. And that's usually how you get a sale when you work as an estate agent, because these properties will be on all the various internet sites and buyers will call the number. You presume you get the buyer. Because again, it's a scramble to sell. You may do the visits, but you may not get the buyer because in the end, it's like playing roulette at the casino. Because you may have the property and you're doing everything you can to promote that property and sell it. And another agent sells it the next day. So you think I'm going to get it, and then you don't sell it. So it's just a different way that things work here. And then we have the buyer's agents like me called personal shopper immobiliario, PSIs. And it's a role that's parallel to the estate agent. So we don't list properties. As a buyer's agent, we work for the buyer. So the buyer pays us. And that means we can work with all agencies because agencies don't really want to be sharing sales. That means they're diluting the money they're getting, and they would prefer to just wait and see if they manage to sell the property on their own. So that's how things are different in Spain. Then where contracts are concerned, our buying process has 2 contracts, the Contrato de Arras, which is where you pay 10% of the property purchase, and you are really tied in to buy the property once you've signed the Arras. So if you don't go ahead and buy the property, you lose the 10%. And if the seller pulls out, then they need to pay you double. And then the second contract is the title deeds. So those are signed at the notary. If you can't make it to the notary, you need to organize power of attorney for someone else to sign, but somebody has to be physically there to sign it on your behalf. So those are the 2 contracts we have. And then we also have the offer letter, which is becoming more and more popular. So one of the reasons this is very popular nowadays is because people get very emotional when they look at properties. So a buyer may look at a property and think, wow, I love it, I want to buy it. And so they put in an offer straight away and say, yes, I want the property. And then after 2-3 days, they get cold feet, or they've seen another property they like and they think, oh, well, actually, I didn't like that first one so much anyway. Or they have thought about it and it just doesn't tick all the boxes, so no. So in this case, that makes estate agents look very bad with the sellers because they're putting in a fake offer as such to the seller because the offer isn't there. The buyer gave the offer in a moment of emotional bliss. They see the property, imagine themselves living there. And that's it. So that does put estate agents in a bad light with sellers, and they like to avoid it. So now they ask for 1% of the property, or 3,000 or 5,000 euros, depending on the price of the property. And they ask you to pay at the time that you sign the offer letter. It's just a way to make sure that you're serious about the offer you're making. You've thought about it, you're serious about it. And oftentimes, if you ask people for money, it's when they think about it twice before they actually go ahead and make a commitment. So that's why that first step may be there. The other thing that can really affect the outcome of a sale is the subjective involvement. Once you see a property that you can imagine yourself living in, you're taking measurements to see where the sofa fits, who's getting which offers. You're already in there, you're already living there, and we haven't even looked at the paperwork, we haven't gone into any details of the property. So that can often be hard because it's almost like I'm taking the candy away from the kid, because you've decided you want the property. But then I may find things wrong with it. So it's also being open and objective to understanding that there are certain things that may not make the property the right property for you. So this is also a key thing. You may think it's the right property for you, but the consequences, if you buy that property, may really make your life a living nightmare. So you don't want to go ahead with those kind of purchases. And that's what I'm here to do. So I'm here to slow down the process. Everybody wants to sell your property. I'm here to slow it down and make sure that it's the right property for you. The other important thing that people may not realize is that the area is important. Is it the right area? Sometimes we get absorbed in all the good weather, sunshine, great vibes. It's one thing being a tourist and being here, but once you start living there, is that really the area that you want to be in? So those are things to take into consideration before you even start off looking at property. Next week, we'll start looking at the processes in a little more detail, discussing what's important, why it should be important, etc. So I hope that's been helpful, and have a good week. See you next week.